Hey, yo, what's going on? Welcome to the Progression Point numero dos. Episode number 2, man. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing?
What's happening?
We got Corey Curry.
Ty Banks.
And it's the week after Thanksgiving.
Man.
How was your Thanksgiving, brother?
It was good. Ate a lot.
What was the favorite dish?
The turkey. We had ordered a smoked turkey from Honey Bear.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, little Christian spot out there in Phoenix.
Okay.
Yeah. So like
you put me on game. You put me on something.
Turkey.
Okay. How was it?
It was good.
So you just put it in the oven? It's already cooked?
It was already, like when I picked it, it was already hot and ready. Yeah.
Word.
Yeah.
Do they fry it?
No, they just smoked it.
Because my wife was talking about she wanted fried turkey. So
Next year, I'm thinking about doing a fried turkey.
Yeah, I gotta do that.
Did you see that news? The Arizona 12 News, they
Nope.
showed, be careful, do not put a frozen turkey in the fryer.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
we know it, but when they did it slow, and it was like,
Yep.
I was like,
Jesus.
Jesus.
Folks and told their house smooth up doing that, putting that frozen turkey. Yeah, I thought that joint.
Yeah.
Got to. No, man, I had a good Thanksgiving, man.
Okay.
My first Thanksgiving
Here in Arizona.
without, like, my mom's. It was weird. You know what I'm saying? I was having all these different emotions. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother, you know what I'm saying? It was just, she gone, like, it was just a different.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. It was good.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? I had my in-laws, my wife's aunt, my cousin from back home. She moved out here like a year before me. She came.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law was out here. So, man, it was good, but it was just different.
Yeah.
And then on top of looking outside, it's like 70 degrees,
Bruh.
palm trees.
That's what 70 degrees and palm.
And you know what I'm saying? Back home, it is definitely not like that.
No, it is definitely not.
So, it was good, man. My favorite, mac and cheese, bro.
Yeah.
Mac and cheese, they touched them yams, man.
Bro. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Collard greens.
Yeah.
The smoked turkey.
That's good, man.
We had the I'm a sweet potato pie guy.
Yes, sir. Got to.
My wife, you know what I'm saying, I blame this because she got some white in her. She a pumpkin pie. So she's a pumpkin pie.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie to you though. I kind of did pumpkin pie.
I did certain pumpkin things.
Yes.
Right? Like if
Not
it's
the
like
pie,
a pastry, I'm not a bit compared to sweet potato, bro.
There ain't no comparison.
Bro.
My granny used to make pumpkin pie though. She did both. I'm saying she did both.
She did both.
Yeah.
Hey, but you grew up with it.
I grew up with it.
I grew up with the classic what sweet potatoes taste like, candied yams, like that whole style of that potato.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'm with that.
Can't beat it, man.
You can't beat it.
Only thing I missed, and I told my wife she got to make it this year. I said, you got to, for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, Patty LaBelle, everybody knows Patty Pie.
Yes,
right?
sir.
But Patty got a cobbler.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
Bro, telling you, fire. With the little, get you some vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
In there.
You know what I heard? I was watching Patty. I don't know if you've seen her on the Breakfast Club.
No.
So she said she actually also has frozen dinners now. But she said it's not at every Walmart. You got to tell them.
Right.
And she had them try it, her macaroni and cheese. Charlamagne was like, this ain't microwave.
Bro, it's crazy because.
Like, yes, it is.
Bro,
she was like, she does not make, she's not a pumpkin pie fan. That's why none of her products is pumpkin pie.
Right.
She only makes what she can.
What she made. Right.
This is what I would make.
Man, bro, I'm telling you, I have my homeboy. He just moved out here, and I was like, look, bro, if you can't, he had the patty pie. I said the pie good. I said, but the peach cobbler better. So he went, got him back, put the pie back. When got the peach cobbler, got him some vanilla ice cream. He hit me on Facebook. Was like, bro, this joint is fire. And so I told my wife, I want a real pumpkin. I want a real peach cobbler, and then I want a banana pudding for Christmas. Man, I'm good. But bro, I went to work out today.
That's good, bro.
And I'm gonna go after I get out of here.
You need to like.
I'm gonna hit you up. The accountability boy.
Accountability. Cause we talked about that on the last episode.
We did.
And accountability is real. It goes back to what the topic of today is.
Topic of today.
And you came up with it, brother. So you present it to the world. What is the topic of the day?
All right, man. So basically, the topic of today, man, is run to the line, man, and it's talking about finishing. And so when I was in high school, man, I played basketball and
doing them suicides.
Man. The coach was like, touch that baseline. And so, being me, you know what I'm saying, at times, I would run and I wouldn't touch the baseline.
Yeah.
And so, a year and a half ago, man, I was studying, And like the Lord kind of pressed on my heart, like, you know what I'm saying, like, you've done that in your life.
Yeah. Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? In your life, there's times where you didn't go all the way to the baseline, you didn't touch the line. And when he was talking to me, it was talking about in concerns with my health. You know what I'm saying? Because I've lost weight, gained it.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, carried over in other areas where things that I felt like God has called me to do, I didn't finish it, as far as like with music and some other things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that mindset, I carried it into adulthood.
Yeah.
Not touching the line, bro.
Why do you think we do that though? Like, because like I'm one of those people too where, you know, growing up, I think I procrastinated a lot.
Right.
But then when I felt so convicted about something, I will go hard in it.
Mm-hmm.
But then I will allow myself to. It's almost like I would feel like I'm holding myself back from overexhaustion.
That's it. It's just
the dream of trying to obtain a dream.
Right.
So like I'm gonna fall back a little bit.
Right. When I was running them sprints,
Yeah.
I was tired.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was like, yo, like, it's crazy because it was probably like 2 more steps. Bro, 2 more steps and then I complete.
Bro.
How many times in our lives do we 2 steps away or a step away from something and we don't touch the line, we don't follow through?
The follow through, bro. Like I think going back to like the basketball reference, that follow through, like you shoot the shot, you follow through with your shot. Like you go after your own rebound. Like what we do, just like the baseline touches, because like I know, like my son now, he plays basketball, and there's plenty of times I know, like, did you touch the line?
Right.
Because don't shortchange yourself, because you feel
you feel a little bit of resistance. You feel a little bit of tiredness. Now, I ain't gonna lie, like a month and a half, 2 months down the road, when I got in better shape, I would say about 60-70% of the time I would touch the line.
Yeah.
But whenever I did it in the beginning, it probably wouldn't have took me that extra month to get in better shape.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bro, like think about that in every area too. Like
every area.
Like touch the baseline, like when the spirit tells you to just give your wife a compliment. When the spirit tells you to address your children even when they just pissed you off in the moment in real time.
Right.
Like it's almost like we feel like we're getting at the line, like touching the baseline.
Yeah.
Like, nah, you ain't gonna I'm already made it this far, I don't have to touch it.
Right.
Right? Like I don't have to. I'm already doing enough.
Right.
That's really what it comes down to.
Ooh,
you think enough. You're doing enough.
I'm doing enough. And you ain't doing nothing.
You ain't doing nothing.
Because you're not completing.
You ain't completing it technically. You think you're doing enough. And it goes back to like the children of Israel, bro. Like something that should have taken them 2 weeks, bro.
It took them what, 40
years.
I was just reading that they murmuring,
complaining.
They even forgot everything.
Because what we're doing the suicide. You're murmuring, complaining.
Wow.
Bro.
That's tough. That's tough.
Bruh.
That's tough. But you know what I told myself? Like last week I'm like, yo, okay, Corey, you need to get up. You need to get up. And I didn't. But this morning, like, bro, I shifted everything. My mindset. I said, you know what? I said, today?
Yeah.
Today is the day.
Yeah.
I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I got up, got my daughter ready for school, got my son ready for school, because on Mondays and Tuesdays my wife worked.
Yeah.
So I just, you know what I'm saying, she got to focus on her.
Yeah.
So I'm not working, so I'm getting the kids ready. And so got the kids ready, you know what I'm saying, to my daughter's school right next to the crib. So I took her to school, came home, finished kind of helping my son get dressed. He's 4 now, so he can pretty much put his clothes on.
Yeah.
So helped him get finished up, made sure wifey was straight, and we head out the door, took her to work, took him to school, came back. Bro, you know what I did, bro?
What's that?
I put all my gym clothes on so I wouldn't have to go back in the house and then make an excuse to why I can't go.
Sometimes you have to set yourself up to win, bro.
You have to, bro, because if not, like, we come up with all kind of excuses. So what I did now, I'm going to go after we leave here, even if it's just for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I told him I got my shoes on.
Yep.
After I get done with this podcast.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to do 2. I told myself 2 days on Mondays and Tuesdays. So I'm going to go. Get done with this podcast, go to the gym, do even if it's 15 minutes on an elliptical. I'm finna knock this out. And like now I'm putting this out there in the airways. I ain't got no choice.
You ain't got no choice. Because right now, and this is what I love about it, because everybody's listening. We also have an Instagram account,
Yep.
the Progression Point podcast.
Yep.
Corey's going to also post that
yes,
he's actually at the gym.
Yes, sir.
According to episode 2, holding yourself accountable.
Holding myself accountable. So, I gotta do it, bro. I gotta touch the line, man. I got a wife. I got kids.
Yeah.
I got dreams.
Yeah.
I got things that I feel like, you know what I'm saying, that I'm put on this earth specifically to do.
Yeah.
And where I'm at right now, could I do it? Yes.
Yeah.
Could I be as effective? Probably not.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
I'm just being honest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I gotta get with it, man. I gotta get with it. I gotta lead by example, you know what I'm saying? So
and then I think what it does is like if you can lead yourself,
that's the first person.
Like
you got to lead yourself.
You gotta be able to lead yourself.
You got to be able to lead yourself.
If you ain't accountable to you, like I heard this saying, if y'all know as listeners know who actually originally said this statement, you know, let us know, but keep your commitment to your commitment. Stay committed to your commitments. Mm-hmm. And what that means is just if you say you're going to do something, do it. But it goes back to what we talked about, I think, a lot in like episode 1, like not being raised a certain way.
Right.
We're detoxing out of the unlearned behavior of to doing the right thing. Like we were not taught to do the right thing in this capacity.
Not at all.
Following through. Especially what examples of men do we have that were consistent on a regular basis of being entrepreneurial and dream chasers and trying to raise a family and be good husbands and
take care of your health.
Yeah, and take care of your health. Being holistic.
Yeah, your mental health and your mental and your physical health.
Yeah.
Not a lot.
We don't have a lot. Like we got remnants out there that we can be like, oh, I know such and such.
Yeah,
oh, I know this person. But how consistent were we involved in their everyday to say it rubbed off on us though?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And so
and like it goes back again too what we talked about in episode 1, exposure.
Yeah.
What were you exposed to?
Yeah.
Growing up, we saw people in your neighborhood. You saw alcoholics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People abusing drugs or abusing their bodies in whatever way it was. You know what I'm saying? So you didn't really see people necessarily taking care of themselves. You know, exercising. I mean, I saw my mom. She would go walking with my aunt. You know what I'm saying? She would kind of like do it. My uncle kind of. Yeah. But it wasn't like consistent.
Yeah. Like it wasn't a lifestyle.
They didn't touch the line, bro.
It wasn't, like touching the line is a lifestyle. Like you're not shortchanging yourself. You're willing to go all the way because at the end of the day, do you want to leave knowing that you gave 100%?
Right.
Because like think about it, like we older, bro. Our kids will soon be adults. Like I already got 2 that's touching the line.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Literally on adulthood.
Right.
And being aware of that, especially having like sons or my youngest.
Right.
What example am I going to lead? Right. Like right now, I have a good example of I do get up in the morning, so my son knows like I'm a morning person.
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to get up and make things happen, and so he has to know that all right, you got to go to the gym.
Right.
After a while, it'll become a habit for him because this is the only thing I know that I'm the only one doing this and pushing myself.
Yep.
But do I only, from an athletic standpoint, is that all I want him to be able to touch the line on? I need you to touch the line on your faith.
In your marriage.
In your commitments to what you said that you want God to use you in and said that you were going to obey and honor that.
Yep.
And so, man, like, for everybody, bro, like, especially, like, I know a lot of who's probably listening is probably, like, males, and if you are female and you're checking us out, we appreciate you.
Yes,
honor the queens
appreciate you.
But a lot of it is, just in life in general, again, we go back to the exposure point of, like, what did you have access to, but then how are you going to continue to keep holding yourself accountable? Finding yourself accountability partner, like Corey is mine.
Yep.
Right? Like, I'm going to look at him as like, hey, bro, I don't have anybody else out here who's being consistent in doing something and pushing themselves and demonstrating it to make it be like, you know what? My boy out here doing it. I have no excuse.
Right.
You know, and it's not even like it's not like a level of dependency. It's just being inspired.
Right.
In that space.
Right, most definitely.
Right? Because we're definitely inspired in a lot of other areas.
Right.
But the follow through is being intentional with our schedules.
Yep.
Scheduling has a big part. That's a solution.
Big part.
And making sure that you're adequately doing things that make more sense of bringing you value than it doesn't. Like, you don't need to stay up past 10 o'clock to watch TV.
Not at all.
Especially when most of what we watch is on
the
internet.
Yeah.
Like, that you can pause and watch later. Right?
But that's where discipline comes in.
Yeah, bro.
Like, are my dreams and what I feel like I'm put on this earth to do more important than me watching something who this person already a millionaire.
I'm over here watching, bro. I was watching Russ last night, right? The artist Russ.
Yeah.
Joe Budden was interviewing him.
Yeah.
And he was just talking about how, like, he started in 2010. He had a TuneCore account. He wasn't making no money. He had put out 11 different projects.
Wow.
Then he went on SoundCloud in 2015. And he started putting out projects in 2015. Excuse me. In 2015. But he learned that, it looks like he was just giving strategy of, like, how he was able to build up his listeners.
Yeah.
By coming up with the strategy, like, it looks like everybody only listens to the first song, and then after that, it just tapers down from there. Mm-hmm. All right, well, I'm gonna just do one song releases once a week. Mm-hmm. And then what he did was he did that for like over a year. So in 2016, he did that for like 96 weeks.
Consistency.
Because
bro, there's so much
hungry,
power.
bro.
There's so much power in your consistency, bro, in your routine.
In your routine. Power in your routine, bro. Because you're going to be consistent at something. You're going to be consistent at being lacking and not doing, and like, I always go to bed late. Yeah. I don't get up early. I don't exercise. You're consistent in that.
Yeah.
But is it productive for where you want to go?
And then when you say I'm going to do it and you don't do it, you're lying to yourself.
Yep. And then why do you expect other people to be honorable to their word if you can't even be honorable to yourself? You expect other people to tell you the truth, but you lie to yourself
every single day. Every single day.
About, I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to do it this year. This is the year. 2020, new vision. 2020 vision.
2020, new me.
New me.
New year, new me.
New year, new me.
Man, I'm finishing what I started in 2018. Starting now, and I'm completing it in 2020, bro.
No, you are going to.
I'm going to.
You are going to.
I put it in the atmosphere. I'm completing it in 2020.
Bro, and anybody listening that has any commitments, man, give y'all's feedback, comments. Like, hit us up on IG. Let us know what your goals and what you want us to try to help keep you accountable for. Because that's the thing. Is like, again, it's called the progression point for a reason. Like, we come to a point to where sometimes we lack motivation and inspiration and need of like, we know that if we just did a little bit more, made a little extra more progress. It's just those 2 steps.
Them 2 steps. And then we was talking about when we were talking about like scheduling. Yeah. I never forget the first time when I saw Mark Wahlberg's schedule, bro.
Oh, what was his schedule like?
I'm gonna find it and I'm gonna put it on the Instagram.
Okay.
It had his day, bro, to the T. It was like he got up at probably like 3 or 4 in the morning, hit the gym, had his meditations, prayer time, read his Bible, whatever, and then from then on, it was just like different things in his schedule. Yeah. And then he had family time in there, and then dude was in the bed at like 8, in between like 8 and 9.
Because why do we need to stay up for what? To watch other people who are living their dreams?
What was we talking about before this podcast? Steve Jobs don't even let his kids have a doggone iPad.
Right.
But we give our kids tablets.
We give them all this stuff.
Oh my God. Dude. Oh, it just hit me in the face, bro. I'm not, personally, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it, but that says something though. Yeah. If Steve Jobs don't even let his doggone kids have an iPad.
Yeah. It shows you the addictiveness.
There you go.
Of what, and the dependency.
Yeah.
Right? Like, are we training our kids to know what it's like to not be tech dependent? Yeah. Like, not saying like to be obsolete from technology as a whole, because we live in a world where
we live in
the way.
It's
the way.
So it's going there.
But as it relates to human communication, knowing how to have people skills, conversation skills, like not just sitting there as a consumer all the time and being entertained.
Take, and don't give.
Yeah, because I believe that what it can eventually breed is contentment and a selfish spirit.
Yeah, because you gonna have for all you youngins out there who addicted to your phones, because I'm breaking that addiction to the phone. Like I took all the apps off my phone and I'm detoxing. Yeah. But for these 15, 16, 17, like how are you going to have, if you want to get married or have a meaningful relationship with anyone, if you don't know how to talk to somebody, it's not going to work.
Yep. Yep.
You have to communicate.
Communication skills.
Communication is key.
It is.
And they go. I think we can segue into the topic that you were talking about, because trying to find that balance and that communication.
Yeah. It is like
in a relationship.
In a relationship, because every aspect of anytime you come in contact with any other human being outside yourself is opportunity for a developed relationship.
Right.
That could be the greeter at Walmart, the cashier, your barber, your school teacher, your classmates. Like any human being that you actually have an opportunity to come in contact with can become something to where you're going to bring value to them, or they're going to bring value to you, or it's going to be reciprocity, where it's both feel some sense of value coming in contact with each other.
Right.
But if you only allow it to be about you, and you're just a draining individual, where you're just siphoning the life because you feel like they need to cater to who you are, life is going to be trouble. Shot.
Trouble. Man, for real. For real.
Like,
I was, and that's huge, man. Like, I think I wrote something down. I said, get away from people who don't live a life of touching the line.
That's real. Like,
draining people.
Yeah.
And people who live a life of just whatever.
Yeah. Because think about it, like, if you allow yourself to succumb to the ideology of someone who's shortchanging themselves, because this is the thing, like, one of the things, like, Lynn said this in one of his sermons a couple weeks ago. He said that your children will adopt your standards, but they won't adopt your boundaries. And what that meant, what he said was, for example, like, oh, okay, my dad once says I should get up and exercise. But when it comes to, let's say you decide that you only go once or twice or 3 times a week or whatever, their boundaries is, I'm only going to probably go once a week.
Right.
Or I might not even go at all.
Right.
Or you go to church. Oh, I go when I feel like it.
Right.
Okay. Well, I believe in God. I go whenever I feel like it too, and I don't ever feel like it. Right. And so when he said that, it goes back to bringing awareness for me, like what standards am I setting as it relates to expectations in my household, expectations in my relationship, balance towards, and not even balance, systems.
Yep.
Like work-life systems, because balance means that there's going to be even attribution of weightiness on one side on the other to create to balance the scale, and there's no such thing as a balance because something's going to be shortchanged. Something's going to be shortchanged, but as long as you and the person that you're partnered with agree on the checks and balances of, hey, this is what we expect for this year, and they're in agreement, that is your form of balance.
Right.
Because let's say you are giving 30 extra hours towards the dream, or 20 hours extra towards the physical fitness and mental health.
Yeah.
Or any of that's outside of family time and traditional work time. If it's going to be for the betterment of the collective, and you and your partner are in agreement, that is what works for you.
Yep.
There's no such thing as anybody listening to what we're talking about where we're going to just say, hey, do what we do exactly.
Right.
Because we don't know y'all's relationship situation.
Right.
We don't know what you're exposed to on a regular day basis.
Right.
We don't know what your work-life balance or infrastructure looks like to give you exact anecdotes towards your situation. But what we can do is that whoever is in sync or have any type of connection towards what it is that you're involved with, whether it be your coworker, your boss, your business partner, your spouse, your significant other of any capacity, they have to be in alignment with what that looks like.
And that's where communication
comes in, because if not, and you think you should just be doing it, and you just expect that everybody's supposed to have ESP and just read your mind that, oh, okay, he must be working or she must be doing her own thing right now. No, communication plays a significant role. I can get pissed at my wife, bro, if she's like, looks like you're doing this and I'm not being clear about what I'm doing.
Right.
So if I don't create an expectation of like, hey, this is what my day looks like, I have no right to be like, how are you coming at my neck when I'm out here doing X, Y, and Z? I'm the only one trying to go out here and hustle and bustle, do the extra stuff. You got your one task and job.
Right.
I'm the money go getter.
Right.
Like you got your money.
As a man, that's we trying to go hunt.
But that's what we were designed to do.
Definitely.
But at the same time, it has to be clear cut, communicated to the other parties involved because
my wife,
it's different.
Yep. Man, my wife, early on, like, I was terrible at communicating. Like, okay, I'm going to go do this. I was springing on her, like, the day before or the day of. She used to get tight. Bro, she used to get tight. And I'll never forget, like, the straw that broke the camel's back, man. And it was probably, we lived in Oklahoma at the time. This was probably like 2011.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I said something. I was like, I got this today. And she was just like, dude, we got to have some better communication.
Yeah.
Or we're going to continue to have these problems.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right. So every time I made a conscious effort to, like, I ain't saying I'm perfect.
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm way better.
Compared to where you
were. Yeah,
right?
I try to give her like a week's notice or either two. Like, I'm planning on doing this. Just a heads up. And then I'll even try to remind her like a week before so it's in her mind fresh.
But see, that's you touching the line. Because think about it.
Oh, that's good.
Think about it.
Yeah,
that's you decide that I'm following through. Because again, it's not about being perfect. Doesn't mean that you got faster than before. You just decided that I'm going to follow through. Yep. And in that follow through, the conditioning in that is going to build up that endurance to keep going. And then you're going to find that you're moving at a different pace. Right. And that you're able to actually build some endurance that's at another level than where you were. Yep. And because you can endure at that level, God can take you to the level that you've been asking and been yearning and burning in the spirit with, bro.
Yep. And so, man, like, I was just talking to her the other day. I was like, yo, like, our marriage is in such a, like, dope spot right now. Like, since I cut the phone, like, at a certain point in time, and I try to get off that phone at night. And we just sit on the couch and, the kids sleep. We just talk. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there for a while, me and her both was just like, all right, we're on our phone, but we're not really communicating.
There's no communication,
You know what I'm saying? And so I was like, I'm going to be intentional. I'm going to touch the line and, like, connect back with my wife. Sometimes we used to sit there and be like, what did we used to do before phones? We must have talked.
We must have talked.
You know what I'm saying?
Think about, like, we must have talked.
We had to communicate. So, and, like, I was just telling her, I was like, she said, I feel like that too. But I was like, yo, our marriage is in a dope spot right now. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And, like, communication, put it there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so, man, it's just, for all you young guys out there, man, and you married guys, and if you got some issues, check your communication. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Check your communicator button because it might be turned off right now.
Bro, it is like, and it's like a muscle, bro. If you don't work it out, any weight that goes against a muscle that hasn't been worked out, it's going to be too much for that muscle, and it can't endure. And if you're not positioning yourself in your relationships of any capacity, spouse, working, friends, like any of that, if you're not flexing that muscle and putting it to the test to where you're stretching it so that it can be built up. Because a lot of times what we do is that we take opposition in our relationships. And we feel like, oh, this means this relationship is going south. No. Right. This is just us exercising because, again, we're going to be forever learning more about each other. Like Will Smith, I saw him talking to Elliot Wilson and B. Dot from Rap Radar. Okay. And he was saying that he was talking to Ruby D and Ozzy, the old school couple. Mm-hmm. And she was talking about, like, this is like they was going through some stuff in the relationship and he linked up with them. And she was like, oh, Ruby D asked him, like, oh, how long you guys been married? Oh, about 17 years. She's like, oh, you still learning who he is.
For real?
Year 17. She said that you're still, because they were together for over like 60 years, bro. And she was like, oh, you still don't even know who he is yet. Yep. So don't act like, and this is the thing, like, in a relationship, it's going to be exercised. Yeah. Because think about it, you're not the same Corey you were 5 years ago.
Most certainly.
You weren't the same Corey that was 10 years ago.
I'm not even the same Corey I was 2 years ago.
Think about it. So if that's the case, there's always an opportunity for new discovery, bro.
Yeah, most definitely.
Because your wife's taste buds, you can't expect because she used to like this when y'all first hooked up, doesn't mean that because of y'all new experiences that she hasn't adapted to something new. Right. And that you're like, oh, okay, you used to like purple. Right. Now you really into like turquoise. Right. That's your color. Right. Like, it's that new discovery because think about it. If you ain't limiting yourself to your identity of being limited to growth and new things and experiences.
Yeah, most definitely.
What makes you think the person that you're connected with, friendships, relationships, working relationships, aren't in the same position?
Yep.
Do you think you're the only one who's growing and they're supposed to stay stagnant?
I was talking to a young guy in the chair.
Yeah.
I was cutting his hair. And I was like, bro, he was like, bro, I'm scared, because me and my girl have been together for 10 years and all this stuff. And I don't want to, I think he said, like, I don't want to mess it up or something.
Well, you don't like jinx it if he gets married?
Yeah. Because so many people will be like, I fell out of love. No, you didn't fall out of love. You just didn't continue to communicate and grow with that person. And that's why I told him, I was like, look, I said, I'm not the same person I was. My wife's not the same person that she was 5 years ago. I'm definitely not the same person.
Yeah.
So we had to grow together.
Yeah.
And we had to communicate those things.
Yeah.
And also too, as a man, you gotta realize and be discerning of your wife.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying?
No, I do, bro.
And I think I don't know how you can fall in love with somebody.
I think what happens is, it goes back to what you touched on when you was talking to the young fella, was if you feel like you've done enough,
like you
capped out, it's because you feel it's almost like a kid who always wanted a toy.
Right.
And he finally get it. They played with it.
Right.
They really engaged with it. But after a while, it loses enthusiasm. Think about the shoes and clothes we used to want when we were kids.
Right.
And then, or something that we wanted. Once we got it, do you still have that thing?
You still value it.
Do you still value it the same way you desired it when you didn't have it? And if you can allow yourself to position yourself to be, number one, self-aware.
Right.
That, hey, I'm aware that I am not seeing her or him in the same way that I used to.
Right.
What can I do? And this is one thing I appreciate what Will Smith said, is that he discovered that it's not my job to satisfy her.
Right.
It's my job to be the best version for me and who I am in this relationship. This is not my wife. We're not in a marriage. This is my life partner.
Yeah.
He was like, there is nothing she can do for me to leave her. He said, no. Like, he stressed that.
Right.
And I like that perspective, whether he's a Christian or not.
Right.
I like that perspective because we live in a world where marriage is just more of a contractual thing.
Right. It's not covenant.
You broke.
Right.
Yeah, they don't see it as a covenant.
Right.
They see it as an agreement, as a breakable agreement.
Right.
Like, just like, oh, I don't have to touch the line in this relationship.
Right. I could just get close.
I could get close.
But I don't have to put no extra work in.
Extra work. And if I get tired of it because you feel like you're pushing me too hard, telling me that I should be trying to touch the line, then why should I be here? I should walk away. Yep. And then but to me that shows the laziness of us in our continued pursuit.
Yep.
Of like, as much as you was courting her, what was the end goal? To just get her?
Right.
Hoard her?
Right.
And vice versa too?
Right.
Women too?
Right.
To get this dude and then hoard him and then be like, all right, I got him, and then all of a sudden what?
Yep.
Stop being who you were, not being like, what, you're going to stop being intentional about being sexy to him, and you're going to stop being intentional about trying to have quality time and engage with him and be into the things that he's into, or at least try.
Right. Because
this is the thing, like, if you're my life partner, or if you're my friend or my homie or my confidant of any capacity, we work together or not, like, I got to be able to trust the fact that you're going to always be who you say you are until you show me otherwise. Like, I had a homeboy, and I'm, without giving too much context, because I'm sure he'll probably listen to this episode, but he had an issue today. Yeah. And we talked about it where it was like, he felt like, man, I put this expectation on people, which is, there's nothing wrong with having high expectations. But at the same time, when you got to learn to not put all your eggs in one basket with those expectations.
Because you got to remember that they still human.
Facts.
And they make mistakes.
Just like you made mistakes. Yep. We can talk about what you've done. I can talk about what I've done. Yep. None of us are perfect living beings on this planet. So if we are expecting these people to be greater than ourselves, it goes back to what we talked about before. Like, you lie to yourself all the time. Why do you expect someone to tell you the truth?
Well, you lie to yourself 3 times a day.
3 times a day, at minimum.
At minimum.
But you expect someone to be 100 with you, but you 85% with yourself.
Come on, man.
You 85 with yourself, but you want other people to be 100.
Dog, there were so many times when I would disappoint my wife or hurt her. I'm like, okay, course, you gotta do some self assessments.
Yeah.
Where did I go wrong?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like, I had to correct them, bro. I had to follow through. I had to touch the line, bro.
Yeah.
And
swallowing that pride in the process.
And say, I'm sorry.
Yep.
And then, you know what I'm saying? And there's times where we both had to tell each other sorry. We both was wrong.
Yeah.
But both of y'all noticing that is the key.
Yeah.
And then you grow from that.
Yeah.
And like, man, dog, I remember, man, we argued a lot early on because I was immature.
Yeah.
We both was immature. But I was, girls mature faster than boys anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was just stupid, immature. Just doing stupid stuff. But like, I remember like, I would tell God like, I want to be a better husband. I had a few little pockets of somebody to look at.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like for the most part, I didn't have a lot. I didn't have, especially nobody in home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I'd be like, Lord, just help me to be a better husband. You know what I'm saying? Mold me. You know what I'm saying? And that's definitely what he's continuing to do and he's doing now. You know what I'm saying?
What we've got to be aware of is that even though we're touching the line or trying to be consistent at touching the line as often as we possibly can, is that it doesn't mean that the race is over.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that you're only supposed to do it for a short amount of time. And what people get caught up in is that, man, I've been doing it for 2 weeks. I've been doing it for 2 years.
Life is a marathon.
This is a marathon. Unless you plan on dying soon, like, oh yeah, I'm only going to do this for the next 2 weeks. Oh, okay, so we don't expect your existence after that.
Right.
Because if not, you have no reason to stop pursuing and being consistent in yourself. And all this really sums down to, how much do you value who you want to be acknowledged for?
Right.
Like, is Corey the guy that people want to tell stories about in admiration or in disgust?
Right.
Right? Like, ooh, I ain't going to be like that dude.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't going to be like that dude. Are you someone that you're like, hey, I saw what he did and I'm not going to be like that? Or are you an example of someone's looking at you as, hey, man, I saw what Corey was doing and I ain't got no excuse.
Right.
I have zero excuse.
Zero. I got a son, man. You got 2 boys that look up to you, revere you, honor you, man. You know what I'm saying? You want to be everything for him. I was thinking about that today, man. I pick up my son from school, and sometimes we go out to eat after I pick him up, just to spend that time with him.
Yeah.
And just seeing how he just look at me and just talk to me, and like, bro, I'm his biggest fan. I'm his biggest hero, bro.
Yeah.
And like, I was talking to my father-in-law about this. Like, like the weight of being a father is heavy. Yeah. But I embrace it.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like, I get to lead and guide and mold 2 little people. You know what I'm saying? To be whatever they want to be.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Doggone it, I'm gonna touch a line with them 2.
Yeah.
And my wife.
Yeah. we have to,
you know
because again, we're the only living, like, as it relates to like our kids' comprehension level from them being young, like we're the only tangible representation of what God is supposed to be.
Bro.
How consistent? Because again, like I remember my wife, she went and got sozo, and she talked about this. Like, the way you view your mother is the way you view the Holy Spirit. The way you view your father is the way you view God. Right. Like if your father wasn't in your life, you find yourself being more self-dependent. Yep. And you might believe God exists. It's like, you have a dad out there, but you don't rely on him like you should, because you haven't had the tangible experience of relying on someone greater than yourself that looked like you, that was made in your image, or you were made in his image, right? And so, but when it comes to our mothers, we revere the Holy Spirit in a way because we understand that it's that inkling voice, that conviction, that awareness of self, because our mothers have been that to us. Right. And so for sure, now it's just a matter of, we need to operate from that level of like, all right, we do know who God is. Mm-hmm. You know better. Yeah. Most definitely. You know better. You know better. Most definitely. Man. Bruh. It's been a good one, bro. Yes, sir. So, I like to kind of leave us with a few little joints, man. And so how can we stay focused and run to the line? Yeah. Finish. Find out why. You know what I'm saying? What's that thing that I'm focusing on? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And celebrate the small victories. Yeah. Yeah.
Celebrate, you know what I'm saying? You might have had to run 5 sprints to the line, and you went through 3.
Yeah.
You touched 3 times. Celebrate it.
Celebrate it.
Because you're going to build that endurance up to where you eventually will be able to go all 5 times. But, man, just celebrate the small victories, man, and get your focus right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On your goals and your dreams, man. And, like me and Ty said, man, with this podcast, what we really want to do is we haven't arrived. We haven't made it. We got, like I said, we got, like, first episode, we got aspirations, man.
Yep.
And we are on our way, you know what I'm saying? But, like, we haven't hit where we want to be.
Yep.
And we will, but, like, yo, like, we just want to encourage people, man. Like, yo, like, progress.
Yes.
Progress, man. In your life, make progress.
Yes.
And I promise you, consistency and get a routine. You know what I'm saying? Get up early in the morning, and your early in the morning may look different. You know what I'm saying? Maybe 5, maybe 4, maybe 6.
6, 7.
Anything past 7, you pushing.
You definitely pushing. The day's already started for months.
They already started. One more thing, and we're gonna end this. I never forget, man. Back home, I would go to the gym, and like 5 in the morning, it'd be full of like old people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? A lot of them older Caucasian people.
Yeah.
A few of us sprinkled in there.
Yep.
But what stood out to me the most is like a lot of people was doctors, lawyers. They were successful people, bro. And they understood the value of getting up in the morning, taking care of themselves, and they had a routine, bro.
See.
The wealthy have a routine, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you think Warren Buffett or Bill Gates just like, oh, you know, I'm going to wake up at 2 o'clock, and that was what worked for them? Or do you think, like, people who just look physically fit and online that, oh, they just was, you know, it's just, hereditary. Like,
right.
I just have muscle.
Right.
Like, no. Like, everything in this life requires work.
Yep.
Everything in this life requires effort.
Yep.
And God is not opposed to effort. He's opposed to earning. If you think that you did this with expectation to do something,
right,
and thinking that, you're chasing a result of someone doing something for you, no. You're doing it from a position of effort. God's going to honor the effort.
Yep.
And that the reward comes in seeing the results that you're creating, not only in your own lives, but how you're impacting others, but not what you can take from others.
Yep.
And so you're not earning that, I'm doing this so that my wife can be this for me, or my children can be this for me. No, you're being something for them.
Right.
Be very singular focus on, I am a giver, not a taker.
Yep.
And the progression point, like my man Corey said, like, again, this is all about progress, not perfection.
Yep.
Like, you do it today, but don't delay.
Right.
Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't make any more excuses than be like, I'm going to do this in 2020.
Yep.
If you ain't doing it right now, you better be doing it by tomorrow.
Yep.
Or you better be doing it by the end of the week. But don't exceed more than a few days.
Because you're going to keep saying,
I'm going to
do it tomorrow, I'm going to do it tomorrow, and then tomorrow's 10, 15 years down the line.
Yep.
And you ain't progressed at all.
Nope.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
We appreciate y'all, man, for tuning in this week.
Yes, sir.
I got a slight disclaimer. Last week, we were talking about physical fitness and exercise. And, you know what I'm saying, I named off, high blood pressure, diabetes. And my mouth was just running. And then I said, sickle cell. Forgive me. That is something that you really, right now, you probably can't take care of with just diet and exercise. So I apologize. But yeah, so that's a disclaimer. So just bypass that. But until next week, man, we appreciate y'all, man. We signing off here, man. Y'all have a good one.
Yes,
This is
sir.
the progression point.
Yep.
Yes, sir.